Welcome back, everyone, to the Bears Travel Plays YouTube channel. Today is Sunday, October 27th, and we're going to be breaking down some plays for Sunday afternoon in the NBA. We're going to be taking a look at two total game picks, two total player props. Going to start with the 76ers going up against the Pacers, and then we're going to look at the Clippers going up against the Golden State Warriors, followed by the two best player props of the day. Before we do that, let's take a look at the plays from Saturday night. We have the Cavs minus 9.5 against the Wizards, Dallas Mavericks money line against the Suns, Luka over 9.5 rebounds against the Suns, and then Jalen Green over 20.5 points going up against the Spurs. Currently 6:09 p.m. Central Time. The games might actually have tipped off already. I think most of them start at 6 o'clock, but I know all of our plays start at 6 or before. But we're going to turn over to the NBA after this Vanderbilt-Texas game where Diego Pavia has the ball, 2nd and 5, 6 minutes, 30 seconds left inside his zone 30. So hopefully Vanderbilt down 7, scores, goes for 2, knocks off Texas. That would be amazing. But let's take a look at the leaderboard. Pretty bad night last night, 1-3. Tyrese Maxey kind of screwed us in the second half, had 20 points in the first half, nothing basically in the second half. Jalen Brunson didn't play basically the entire fourth quarter. I think he scored 26 points. And then the Bucks, wow, the Bucks looked bad against the Bulls in that second half. So the only win yesterday was the Knicks, minus 2.5. We're going to try to bounce back. Hopefully we bounce back on Saturday. But let's take a look at some plays from Sunday. We have the 76ers going up against the Pacers. I have had a chance to watch both these teams in action. 76ers going up against the Raptors, Pacers going up against the Knicks. I think the Pacers just got the Knicks off of that loss going up against Boston, and the Knicks had a little bit of frustration to get out. They did not shoot well in that game against the New York Knicks. Tyrese Halliburton didn't shoot well. The Pacers team didn't shoot well. It was just not a good performance overall. I think Halliburton had no points in the game. I could be wrong about that, but I don't know if he made a shot. But despite the poor performance from the Pacers in the last game, putting up, I believe, under 100 points as well, they're starting out the season hot from the field. They're shooting 50%. That's top 10 in the NBA. For the 76ers, they're coming off of a bad loss against the Raptors, even though they don't have Paul George and Joel Embiid in the starting lineup. And the Philadelphia 76ers, they got to be careful because if they start the season 5 or 10 games below 500, it might be tough sledding trying to get back into the hunt. And I don't know how Joel Embiid is not healthy enough to play. Maybe I'm not understanding the injury or what it is, but he had plenty of time in the offseason to get healthy besides playing for his country in the Olympics, the United States. I don't see what makes him any different, though, from any other big man in the NBA, except maybe he thinks he's entitled to something, sitting down for the majority of the season over the last several years. I think what we have here is a selfish player. That's just my opinion. I think everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but that's just my opinion. Tyrese Maxey has been doing his thing. He's been doing everything he can, but sometimes his best is not enough. He had 20 points in the first half against the Raptors. They were basically tied. Didn't have any points in the second half, basically against the Raptors, and the 76ers collapsed. The Pacers in this game is the play. Minus 6.5 until the 76ers get healthy. Even if Tyrese Maxey puts up 30-plus points, I still don't know if they're going to be able to come up away with a win here. So I'm going to take the Pacers, minus 6.5 as the play. And for the next play, we're going to take a look at the Golden State Warriors going up against the Los Angeles Clippers. And the Warriors might be a machine this year. The Clippers are dealing with their own injuries with Kawhi Leonard, who somehow is back on the injury report to start the season. Feels like he lives there. Last season, I think Leonard was the healthiest we've ever seen him. He played a lot of games, but he's caught the injury bug once again starting this year. We saw James Harden on the floor for the Clippers, but this is not the James Harden of the Houston Rockets. As of right now, looks like the Warriors might be a double-digit favorite. We have them minus 9.5 for right now, but if they decide to bench some of their starters, we might be able to take the Warriors at a lower number. This Warriors team, they did get better, getting some help for the second team coming off the bench. We still have Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, Jonathan Kuminga, and Trace Jackson-Davis has stepped forward into that center spot this year, doing a really good job. Coming off the bench, had Buddy Hield, added Kyle Anderson and DeAnthony Melton, so they have some really good key players coming off the bench for them this season. They are scoring a ton of points per game, the best in the NBA, and they have one of the best defenses to start the season as well. I'll take them here to take care of business against the Clippers. Minus 9.5 as the play for right now. Let's go over to the player props. We're going to start with the Nets going up against the Milwaukee Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks last season, before adding on Doc Rivers as the head coach, they had defensive problems, and whenever they brought in the new head coach, they thought, well, he's probably going to fix those problems. They still had defensive problems last season the entire year. They've got those problems now. I know that bringing in Damian Lillard has been a big thing for this Bucks team. They got a lot better offensively. He's going to score you 25-plus points per game, but he doesn't play a ton of defense. They had to part way with a couple of their bench players from last season, and this season, the defensive numbers for this Bucks team, they've not been good. I know it's really early, but the sixth worst team so far in the NBA. I was able to watch the second half of that Chicago game after the recording, and those Chicago Bulls, they did whatever they wanted against that Bucks team. I think they put up 120-plus points. I am going to take Cam Thomas of the Nets. He had a big game in the first one, had a decent game in the second game. And this is a guy who it can get extremely hot very quick. He reminds me a lot of Klay Thompson. If he's hitting shots, you love him. If he's missing shots, you hate him, because no matter what, this guy's not going to stop shooting. We definitely saw that in the first game for the Nets. He had 25-plus shots, had a ton of shots in the first half. I think he only had 9 points. Came out in the second half, almost had 40 points in the game. I do think he's going to be able to put up a lot of points in this one, especially if Lillard's guarding him coming up the court. I think he's just going to pull up multiple times, hit a couple threes right in his face. I'm going to take his total. Over 25 points, probably going to be a little bit more, 25.5, 26.5, whenever the official play comes out for that. And for the final play today, we're going to look at the Pelicans going up against the Portland Trailblazers. CJ McCollum is no stranger to playing in Portland. He played multiple seasons with this team before being traded over to the New Orleans Pelicans. I think he's going to have another monster game against his former team. This is going to be a back-to-back game for the Pelicans. They played the Blazers a couple nights ago, and CJ was able to have 20-plus points. He made 4 threes in that game as well. I hope I'm doing the exact same thing in this one. If you remember last season, CJ McCollum was my golden goose. Every time I pulled him out as a player prop, it seemed like he came through for me. I'm hoping we have the same thing this season with him. The Blazers, they're just as bad defensively as the Milwaukee Bucks this year. They're actually a little bit worse. They're the third worst defensive team in the NBA to start the year. I do expect a lot of three-point shot attempts from CJ in this game, because we've already seen a lot of attempts out of him in the first game going up against the Blazers. And last season, this guy, he almost averaged double-digit shot attempts per game in the second half of the year. That is from 3. The formula last season was attempt 9 3-pointers, make 4 of them, because he was shooting nearly 44% from deep last year. I'm going to take CJ here for the first time all year long. Over 3.5 made threes as the play. Let's go over the recap graphic. We're going to be taking the Pacers minus 6.5, Warriors minus 9.5. That one might come down by tomorrow, because I'm not entirely sure if the Warriors are going to start. Everybody looks like Steph Curry and Draymond Green are coming up as questionable on the injury report, so maybe that line's a little bit lower. I'm still going to take them even if they're out. Cam Thomas over 24.5 points. That one might be a little bit higher. And then CJ McCollum over 3.5 made threes. That is currently plus 110. So I love that play there for CJ. Guys, it's going to do it for the NBA Plays and Props for Sunday, October 27th slate of games. If you guys enjoyed the content, please be sure to drop a like in this video and subscribe to the channel below. See you guys next video, and thanks for watching.